You having trouble reconciling your bank account or credit card in QuickBooks? That is the topic of today's show. So, where's the problem? Well, have you ever gone into QuickBooks Online or QuickBooks Desktop and tried to reconcile your bank account or credit card, and you've done the thing where you check all the transactions off and it still doesn't reconcile to your bank statement? That's what we're going to talk about. So, what's up, everybody? My name is Chris Hervishon with SOAR, A Better Way CPA. Let's connect. My email address, chris@betterwaycpa.com. Phone number 843-608-0298. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Quora, where I post new content every single day. Content that you will not find on this channel or in my blog. So it's all unique content to Quora every single day. So please follow me there. Like and share my stuff if you would. It helps me build my audience and also helps me to grow my business. So I'd appreciate that. But as I'm going through this, by all means, let's engage. Let's ask some questions. Be happy to answer those as I'm going through this live. If you're watching this recorded, by all means, put some questions in the comments. Be happy to go back and answer those for you. I am here to help. So by all means, ask those questions. So here's the problem. You're trying to reconcile your bank or credit card in QuickBooks Online, but it's not working. You have an outage. You've gone through the list of transactions. You can't find a transaction for that exact amount. So that means it's more than one transaction is causing your outage. You're pounding your head against the desk. You can't figure out what it is, and you think there's got to be an easier way. Well, you'd be correct. Here's how we fix it. And it is Excel Solver. Excel, like Microsoft Excel. Like the good old-fashioned spreadsheet tool. Yes. This is a different way to find those outages when it might be more than one transaction and to quickly identify them without having to go and tick and tie through the bank statement or do some clever math or anything like that. So this is really revisiting an article that I was quoted in on AMEX Open Forum a couple of weeks ago. It was about reconciliation, and I posed the idea to the writer that Excel Solver was a good reconciliation tool for this type of situation. And she didn't think I was crazy, and she wrote about it, and couldn't be happier. So by all means, go and check out that article. It's linked in the show notes today. Be happy if you read it. And let me know what you think. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to QuickBooks, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So we're all familiar with this, right? This is the reconciliation screen. Right up here where the gear icon is under Reconcile, right here. That is how you start to reconcile your bank and or your credit card accounts. And it gives you this screen right here. So this is Larry's landscaping. Our buddy Larry is back, needs help with his books, and we're going to reconcile his checking account today. So you'll see right here, the last statement ending date, 11/30/2022. We're in the future now. We're like back to the future with our flux capacitor or whatever. So we're going to reconcile today for 12/31, so year end 2022. We know that the ending balance is going to be $84,191.52. The ending date, like I said, 12/31/2022. And we'll get going on the reconciliation. Now, what we see is a screen like this. And the way that we reconcile is we check off these individual transactions, and then hopefully when we check them all, the QuickBooks balance will tie to the bank balance. That's what we would expect, right? So if all of the transactions that are in the bank are in QuickBooks, and all of the transactions that are in QuickBooks are also in the bank, that means we don't have any extras anywhere, we're not missing any anywhere, we would expect this balance to tie. So let's check them all, see what we get. So yes, select all, and we have an outage. Negative $5,508.50, top right here, okay? So the first step is to go and see if we can find that exact amount in this list somewhere, $5,508.50. And we're at the bottom of the list. We did not find that amount. So what does that mean? That means that multiple transactions are causing this outage. How do you figure that out? That's the problem that we're trying to work on, right? Well, good question. Glad you asked. So I've taken the liberty of running a balance sheet for the month of December 2022 and going into the checking account and pulling the individual transactions. That's what this looks like right here. And I'll show you. If we go back to summary report right up here, here's our balance sheet. Here's our checking account balance, $89,700.02. So that's the outage, right? Because we said that the bank balance was $84,191.52. The difference is that $5,508.50. So what we can do is we can drill into the transactions, and we're going to export these to Excel so we can run Excel Solver to identify the transactions that are causing this outage. The way to do that, up here, this little box, export to Excel. And what you'll get is a file that looks exactly like this. Okay, and what will populate are these columns here, column A through column K. Column J is the amount of each transaction, and column K is just a running balance. Now, the way to set this up for Solver, and I'll go ahead and I'll start this over, is to put zeros in column L. So 0, 0, all the way down, the entire list, okay? In column M, we're going to do the transaction amount multiplied by column L, and I'll show you what we're going to do with column L in just a second. Copy that the entire way down, and delete these extra zeros here, and then we're going to do an auto sum in this column and an auto sum effectively in this column. Okay, so this is the sheet. It is set up to run Solver now. Now, what is Solver? Solver is an optimization tool that is built inside of Microsoft Excel. So basically you can run what if analysis. You're going to see you can do reconciliations if you're an accounting nerd like me. You can do all sorts of stuff with it, but it's basically an optimization tool to take your data and then analyze some sort of a situation to get you the optimal result, whatever that result may be. In this case, we're doing an account reconciliation because our QuickBooks is messed up. Happens, right? How do you get the Solver? Good question. It is over here on the Data tab under the Analyze bucket. I'm going to call it a bucket. There's a better term for that, but it escapes me at the moment. No worries. Solver right there. Now, how do you get that? You probably don't, if you've never used it before, you probably don't even see it in your Excel. The way to get that is File. And then we're going to go to Options all the way down here at the bottom. Add-ins. Slowly but surely. Manage Excel add-ins, and then Go right here at the bottom. And right here where it says Analysis Toolpack and then the Solver add-in, you're going to want to check those. The stock market functions add-in thing, that's something else. Don't worry about that. But you definitely want the Solver add-in and then the Analysis Toolpack as well. Click OK, and then what you'll end up with is on the Data tab, you'll see this. Under Analyze, you'll see this the Solver icon. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to set this up. Now I've already set this up and run through it. As you could probably tell earlier, but the objective we're going to set to cell L34 or M34. My apologies, not 34. We're going to want 48. So that's the cell. Remember where we did the auto sum, M48. Okay, so that's the sum of column M. We want that to be $5,508.50. That's this number right here. Now what you'll notice is that flips the signs between the outage in QuickBooks and the outage on this Excel sheet. When you're doing this, you've got to flip the signs between QuickBooks and Excel Solver. Changing the variable cells, what does that mean? It means we're just going to change the values. So remember, column M is column L times column J. And what column L is going to be is binary. You'll see right here, we want that column to be binary, so ones and zeros. So if you put a 1 in column L, it's going to equal the amount that's in column J, and then what we want to solve for in column M is that difference. We're going to identify those transactions. The other constraint is that we want L48 to be less than or equal to 5. So essentially, it's going to, ones and zeros in column L are going to flag the transactions. We want the number of transactions that we flag to be less than 5 because our assumption is that our QuickBooks is messed up, but it's not that messed up. So a maximum of 5 transactions are causing this outage. And I hope that that's the case. It should always be the case. If you've got 20 transactions causing a problem, then not good. And then the solving method, simplex LP, that's my preference. There are 3 different options, nonlinear, evolutionary, simplex. The reasons behind that and the math behind that are certainly beyond the scope of this video, so I'm not going to go through those, but just trust me, simplex LP will work just fine. And then all we got to do is press solve. It's going to run here for a couple seconds. You'll see at the bottom left, it's running through all sorts of sub problems and trial solutions. And it just stopped and it popped up on the other screen. And this is what you're going to get. This is the feedback. So it says it found an integer solution with intolerance. And we can see here in column or in cell M48, it's $5,508.50, which is the exact amount of our difference in QuickBooks, if you'll recall. And so we see here in column L48, there's 3 transactions, which is certainly less than the 5. So this seems cool. So we're going to go ahead and keep this solution and let's take a look. So this transaction here is one of the ones causing the outage, $4,035. That is a deposit. That's okay. Let's note that. The next transaction here, also a deposit for $573.50. That's interesting because now both transactions are deposits. And last transaction here, remember it said 3 transactions are causing this outage. $900, also a deposit. So all of these transactions are deposits. Now, what does that mean? Well, good question. Obviously, when we're doing these deposits in QuickBooks, we're not doing them correctly. There's something wrong. That's a process that should be fixed going forward. These transactions clearly need to be taken off of the reconciliation. We can go ahead and we can do that right now. Back to the reconciliation. And our outages were $4,035, $573.50, and $900. You'll see up here we've got the green check mark. Everything's happy. We've got 3 extra transactions that are not reconciled. Those transactions should be deleted, or we should dig further into them to see what they are, and maybe they're just in an inappropriate period. Maybe they should really be in January. They were just miscoded. Who knows? But bottom line, there's a problem with those 3 deposits that needs to get fixed. We need to make sure that those aren't a problem going forward. Our account is now reconciled. We're good to go. We can click finish now and we're done. So that's pretty much it for me. Hopefully this was informative. It's a different way to do account reconciliations when you have outages. It's a good way to look into things without, like I said, beating your head against the desk and trying to figure out when there's multiple outages in an account or with any sort of data, really. This is going to be applied to a lot of things. So I encourage you to be clever and be creative as far as figuring out uses for Solver. It's certainly an awesome tool. Go ahead and play around with it, and I think you'll see that as well. So that's it for me. Again, let's connect. CursedBetterWayCPA.com, phone number 843-608-0298. I am on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Quora. Quora is new content every single day. If you like this video, please like it with a little thumbs up guy, share it. That helps me to build awareness, build my brand, build my business. Super helpful for me. I really appreciate that. And that is it. I will see you next time.